Captain Zixtal had been warned about humans. Every species in the Galactic Federation had heard the stories about the deathworlders from Sol 3, the impossible planet where everything was actively trying to kill its inhabitants. Yet, somehow, they thrived. But warnings and experiencing humans firsthand were two very different things. It started, innocently enough, on a mining station orbiting Kepler 442b. The human engineer, Jake Martinez, had been part of the crew for 3 months, and Zixtal had grown comfortable around him. Sure, Jake did alarming things like consume liquids at temperatures that would scald most species, or casually mention surviving something called Australian wildlife ASA child, but he seemed harmless enough. The incident began in the station's cargo bay when a malfunction caused a 30-ton container to lodge itself in a loading mechanism. The container held critical supplies and the next shipment wasn't due for 6 weeks. The bay's automated systems had failed, and the manual override was jammed behind the container itself. Zixtal species, the Kixsari, were known throughout the galaxy as problem solvers. They had built civilizations across 17 star systems through careful planning and precise engineering. So naturally, Zixtal began calculating solutions. They would need to requisition specialized equipment from the nearest station, file the proper permits, wait for approval, arrange transport, and then carefully dismantle the loading mechanism piece by piece. Estimated time for weeks, or Jake said, staring at the container with an expression that Zixtal's translator couldn't quite categorize. We could try something else. What do you propose? Zixtal asked, hopeful that the human might have some unconventional but reasonable solution. Jake reached into his utility belt and pulled out a cylindrical container of amber liquid. He held it out to Zixtal. Hold my beer. Every alarm bell in Zixtal's evolutionary history began ringing simultaneously. The translation matrix in their implant immediately flagged the phrase, pulling up emergency protocol file that Zixtal had thought was a joke. Alert Deathworlder Protocol Delta 7. IFA human asks you to hold my beer. Immediate evacuation is recommended. Phrase indicates imminent disregard for safety protocols and conventional physics. Blast radius unpredictable. Jake, Zixtal said slowly, clutching the beer but backing away. What are you about to do? I'm going to climb up there. Jake pointed to a narrow maintenance shaft 15 meters above them. Swing across using that crane cable, drop onto the container, and kick the override panel until it works. That is, Zixtal's translator struggled to find words. Every part of that sentence violates multiple safety regulations. The crane cable isn't rated for biological weight transfer. The container surface is frictionless. The override panel is reinforced titanium alloy. This plan has a 0.003% probability of success and a 94.7% probability of catastrophic injury. Jake was already climbing. Yeah, but there's a chance. What happened next will be discussed in xenopsychology classes for the next decade. Jake did exactly what he said he would do. He climbed a shaft with the casual confidence of a species that evolved climbing trees to escape predators. He grabbed the crane cable and swung across empty space like it was a recreational activity. He landed on the frictionless container surface and somehow didn't slide off. And then, most impossibly, he kicked the override panel once, twice, 3 times. The panel sparked, flickered, and activated. The container smoothly rolled back into its proper position. Every system came back online. Jake dropped down, landing an acrouch that should have shattered his leg bones, and walked over to Zixtal. Thanks for holding that, said, taking his beer back and drinking it like he hadn't just violated the fundamental laws of probability. Zixtal stood frozen, still processing what they'd witnessed. Ow, how did you? Sometimes you just gotta try stuff, you know, Jake shrugged. That night, Zixtal updated the Federation's database on human behavior. They added a new section titled Hold My Beer Incidents and marked it with the highest warning classification. The report concluded, when a deather says, hold my beer, they're not requesting beverage assistance. They are announcing that they are about to attempt something that should be impossible, and somehow they will probably succeed. Evacuation protocols should be considered not for the human safety, but for your own peace of mind. The report was read by 847 species across the galaxy. None of them believed it until they met their first